it really helped amazing. So I know that point more or less, and yeah, I will tell.
Right.
So it's on the back. Yeah, I think it's on the right. When it's in the right hand, it's on the left upper shoulder somewhere.
Right.
And if it's on the left hand, it's on the right shoulder. No, I
Yeah.
did shiatsu, so that's why I know.
Oh, okay.
I had a course shiatsu for 3 years. So if you know Japanese acupressure,
I've got my new quartz crystal bar here. I'm putting it on my.
Yeah. Okay, unicorn. He's about to disappear, people.
Yeah, he's frozen. Yeah, maybe because he's driving.
So he has to start us, or we're not going to be able to do it.
Right. Okay, right.
Right, Gerard? Are you going to disappear soon?
He is. Okay.
See?
Okay. But
poof, just like that.
Yeah.
We can't start it.
You all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, usually
Gerard
does the introduction, right?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Hello,
he's by the way.
People. Is that good?
He's very,
right.
Yeah.
Good. Hi, everyone. So Gerard is going in and out of reception, so you guys know, and he's getting water, so for his plants, and so we're here. Hi.
Hi.
How's everyone? So good.
They can't answer us. Oh,
yeah, I know.
Comments.
Yeah.
Come on. Yes, they can.
Well, there's Hogo. Hey, Hogo. Let's see.
There we go.
Take it off. Yes. There we go. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
We're good. Okay. All right. So.
All right. So what?
Go ahead.
Globalist? Are we?
I don't know.
I
I hope not.
so.
What are we?
I hope not.
We're like glitching.
We are? I can hear Gerard in the background. Can you hear him? Like on the road?
I can hear the car, yes.
Yeah.
Gerard, are you there? Anyway.
Oh, I look like I've just come out of my bed. Yeah, my hair. I know. I have to, see? Now that's my yeah, but my hair is because it's too dry. Oh my god. You know, I'm gonna do my hair a bit. I don't it's the evening here. I am
looks good.
She says my hair is not good and then I'm in panic.
No, looks great. Besides living Groundhog Day, we're going on to.
Oh, it's
Groundhog Day. Yeah, we are in Groundhog Day.
People.
Riley, are you high?
Okay, let me see.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my hair. I don't like it either.
We gotta reel this in. I'm gonna be the Saturn of the group right now.
Okay, you do. I'm just okay.
Somebody needs to take charge.
Yeah, Neptune.
We blame Gerard for going off that way.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Oh,
one of you fire signs lead.
Chaud en Belgique? Non, il n'y a pas chaud en Belgique.
Look at my.
Il est un peu froid. Il pleuvait beaucoup en la semaine. Cette semaine, la semaine passée, mais maintenant si j'ai oublié mon français, mais quand même, ce n'est pas chaud en Belgique, pas encore. Okay, I was just saying something French to Jonathan, the other one.
Okay.
Sorry.
The other Jonathan. Hogo. Okay, I was like,
Jonathan's like, what?
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Yeah. Jonathan, you start because otherwise.
I'm going to start. Okay, so we decided we would read a little bit from. Huh?
I wasn't talking about the weather.
Okay.
Okay, Jonathan, I get it.
All right. So we were gonna read something from Sun Men of the Americas, which I think we read like one page out of like 2 weeks ago. Yes, it's very deep. It's very deep. Yeah, and this is by Grace Cook, who wrote the other book called The Illumined Ones, which is 2 past lives that she lived, one in Egypt and the other with the Mayan civilization in South America. And she actually claims that the Mayans actually were in South America and in Central America back during the last golden age. She does not give dates because,
Mayans were where?
We don't even know.
In Africa and Central
in South America and in Central America.
That makes sense. I mean, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It does, yeah. And basically her position is that both of those civilizations were informed by the same wisdom tradition, the same wise people, that the exiles from Atlantis that seeded the wisdom in the mystery schools in both of those civilizations. And then in her book, The Light in Britain, she talks about ancient Britain during the last golden age, whenever that was. And a lot of the ancient sites there, Stonehenge, Avebury, the White Horse at Whittington, the Giant's Causeway, things like that. Those ancient sites there, which were ancient Neolithic initiation sites, places for initiation into well, we would call it 5D, but into heightened consciousness.
Yes,
and,
I wonder. About ancient England during the time of King Arthur, there was more contact with fairies, so I think it was real.
Yes.
So
and she devotes an entire chapter to elementals. In the first part of this, that the elementals, she calls them elementals, we would call them fairies. It's the same thing. Yes. Mm-hmm. And that those ancient consciousnesses, the fairies, the spirits of fire, air, earth, and water, as well as the spirits of flowers, trees, growing things. That they were that the human race was at one time able to communicate with them and have intercourse with them, communication and dialogue. And they would actually, they were fascinated by us, very fascinated by us. And that anyway, maybe we could read that part sometime too, or maybe we could.
Yeah, it would be nice.
If you, because it's fascinating to me.
Yeah, for me it's fascinating. Yes, we were once fairies.
I think,
they told me,
I think someday we will get back there.
Yeah,
we will get back there. I hope it's this time around, because I don't want to repeat this.
No, me neither.
I do not want to repeat this. No, I do not.
With that new LiDAR stuff, they're discovering all kinds of ancient cities and Mayan temples and stuff in the rainforest and everything.
Underneath the jungle. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
This is one of my biggest things with there had to be a global civilization or working together thousands of years ago, because the Emerald Tablets of Thoth were discovered in the Mayan temple Pyramid of the Sun in Teotihuacan, whatever, I can't ever say it right, but Teotihuacan.
Teotihuacan. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's certainly on one of my list of my bucket list places to go for sure. But
that means that the Mayans, Mexico, had a direct link somehow to Egypt.
Sure.
Times.
Yes.
Right.
And ancient Ireland too.
Yes.
Because they found. Go ahead.
And that is. Yeah, that's written in initiation. Top, he says it. They were with Atlantis, the Mayas, and different places, different of their god tribes went to different places to initiate the people in the wisdom. Yeah, they were all related from there. The pyramids everywhere.
Right.
Yeah. Anyhow, the culture Jamun, I just want to say. Yeah, she's worried about.
We're talking about this. We're not talking about other things. Sorry.
No.
This is maybe not the right live cast for you.
Yeah, there are a lot of.
That's all.
Yeah, other podcasts about that problem.
Sure, there's everyone else is doing that. That's fine.
True.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe I should read a little bit.
Die.
Yeah.
Period. We all know
summation. We're all going to die.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
let's talk about happy stuff before it happens.
Yeah. And we need to remember where to go anyhow.
Right.
If we die, then we at least have the knowledge a little bit.
Right.
Back to our consciousness.
Nobody survives this. Nobody gets out. There is no security. There's no security here.
No.
We're all going to die. So the point is to learn and transform.
I mean, we might not all die by zombies, but some of us are.
True. Very true.
That's.
I'd rather die and let my molecules be absorbed by a tree or an ocotillo out there in the desert.
Why not?
Really.
Yeah.
Instead of having them inject me with formaldehyde and a bunch of other chemicals so that my body can rot in a concrete, sarcophagus underground. And God, disgusting. Yuck.
I know.
No, our bodies will feed the earth and will rejuvenate the earth because
that's
our
the way it
vibrations
should be.
are higher. And it's
that's
true,
the way it should
it's not a joke. If if your consciousness is highly aware, then it's good to bury your body on the earth because it helps the earth to rejuvenate.
Right.
As my guru said.
Yeah. It does.
Well, like even with this craziness, right? Everything's like a DNA exchange, and nothing has brought it to my attention more than what is happening right now. Because I know people who eat donuts, and everything they touch, I'm like, oh, DNA exchanges everywhere. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. And
it's
so
like, you know,
we don't understand that level of information and exchange. And I really think when you die, like your DNA, your information is being exchanged and recycled through the circle of life universe thing.
Well, it's like you take your life into your hands when you go out in public anymore, you know, because,
you
know, you go to a restaurant, you go to buy your groceries, you go to pump gas at the gas station.
Yeah.
And you don't know if the people that you come in contact with are, you know, donut eaters.
Right.
So,
and the other thing is,
what are they shedding on you?
On the other hand, I have good news, because the one AstraZeneca thing kind of it gives blood clots, and they are not allowed to take an airplane. I can.
Christine enjoys her little karmic revenges. Happy. She's like, they got you.
Everyone has a dark side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. All right. God, it's funny.
It is.
Yeah.
Because she's so like fairy like about like everybody dying.
Right.
Yeah. They're all gonna be gone anyhow. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, right. I can picture her with like a, you know, full on like princess fairy costume and a huge glass crown, and you know, ha 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 ha, ding, karma.
Yeah.
All right, so should I read something and then maybe stop and talk about it a little bit, or does that sound good? Okay. All right, cool. Okay, so basically the first page was kind of like an introduction, and her teacher was named White Eagle. And here in this section, she's describing some of the teachings that White Eagle gave her and the people around their circles in the camp with the fire in the middle and everyone sitting in a circle around them. White Eagle had shown me that the teaching of the law of life, or the ancient wisdom, which is the foundation of all sacred tradition, was brought to mankind in the beginning of this cycle by those whom he called sun gods, or sun men. They came to earth from afar to a land now submerged, bringing their wisdom to a young humanity, pure in spirit. They taught them the law of God, and a way of life which would lead them through the bondage of physical matter back again to God after many long years, as fully God-conscious beings. From that early civilization, the motherland, messengers traveled to the east and west to many parts of the world, carrying with them the original teaching and establishing centers of wisdom, or mystery schools, which, in remote places, behind the scenes of human life, have been the inspiration of all religion. Wherever they went, the messengers taught the people about the divine laws by which life on earth is ordered, and how to live in harmony with these laws in love and brotherhood. Those who settled in the American continents taught the people in those ages long ago the same spiritual truths which this old chief, White Eagle, passed on to the listening circle around the fire. White Eagle says, quote, "The mystery schools established in the beginning have continued throughout the world's history, spreading to one continent after another. Inscriptions still testifying to the existence of these schools can be found on relics of stone, but the modern investigator does not yet comprehend their meaning, nor does the modern mind understand one iota of the power and glory and truth still impregnating these stones in the very earth itself. As surely as the sun's rays penetrate the earth and all physical matter, so the light of the ancient wisdom still impregnates the stones and the earth about them. In the beginning of human life on earth, a great truth was directed onto this planet. It came in the form of light and entered the light of men's hearts. That light is indescribable. We cannot tell you what it is. It is for you to become aware of it yourself, to realize it. Having realized it, you will draw your strength, your light, forevermore from its true source. It is the sun. It is, yeah, go ahead.
I can relate that to, like in the Vedas, the light, it's in your left heart, and they call it the spirit. So once it's awakened again and all the clouds are gone from your conditioning, your egos and things like that, it can shine again. And then your old knowledge, the old knowledge will shine through your brain, because then
Yes.
it can be able to connect with your brain.
Yes.
And yeah, you're again like a pure instrument for actually divine laws, divine knowledge. So
Do
I
the
think
Vedas-
I
do
can
the Vedas
relate
say-
it.
Do the Vedas say that it resides in the heart?
Yes,
in the heart center?
yeah, it's a spirit, it's the light, it's actually the reflection of really God. It's God put that like the light in your heart,
Yes.
and it's in kind of energy. And when it's by true desire and by true for that pure knowledge, and by being open for it through meditation, humbleness, and by just don't try to be open. Your mind is empty, and then it can come up, and then it
Yes.
rises, and that it will connect with your heart and with your brain, and then you get then you go in the fifth of in the sixth, in any other level, then
Right.
where everything happens like spontaneously.
Mhm. Mhm.
Kind of, and it's in the heart, but it's light, and but when in that time probably everything, whole your body was pure, the energy just like they were more transparent. I believe they were not like so yes,
Heavy.
so materialized so heavy as we are now.
Right.
So they were living light, but now we are not yet. We have to go back to that state, I think.
Right.
So,
Well, the word light has a double meaning. Obviously it means, photons, but it means also, reducing our heaviness,
Yes.
our gravity,
Yeah.
and what scientists, what physics has taught us about light is that it's both a particle and a vibration, depending on how you look at it. And that your human consciousness affects the way that light behaves, in these experiments. Because if the scientists, that ran experiments to prove if light was a particle, yes, light is a particle. And then over here you have other scientists that were looking at it as a wave, and they proved that it was a wave.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So there is no separation between knower and known.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're all connected. Yeah. Okay, let me read some more. In the beginning of human life on earth, a great truth was directed onto the planet. It came in the form of the light of men's hearts. It is indescribable. We cannot tell you what it is. It is for you to become aware of it, to realize it. Having realized it, you will draw your strength, your light forevermore from its true source. It is the sun. It is the spiritual sun which the ancients worshipped, a worship which earthly people have mistaken for worship of the physical form of the sun. The sun worshippers of past ages were not idolaters, but they knew the spiritual meaning of the life giver of their world. We who come from the spirit can assure you that the world and humanity are far, far older than you can conceive. Countless years ago, men and women met in open temples to worship this spiritual sun. They were not as you are. They were souls who had come to this planet from another to establish centers of power and light on Earth. It is the work of the Brotherhood in spirit today to release this ancient light, still imprisoned both within the earth and within all men. When this light, this truth is released, a life more beautiful than any known on this earth for many thousands of years will come again. These men were much stronger and bigger than man of today. If you could see them clairvoyantly, you would be struck by their size and grandeur of form, and by the light which shines from them. These are the ancient sun men or sun gods, the original brethren of the great white light, who came to earth to establish this light by which the race has lived ever since. It is within. Strong and fine physically, they were also strong in spiritual power. And there's a note here. Once in deep meditation, I had a vision of these very tall, noble-looking men standing in a large circle of light in space and encompassing, so it seemed to me, the whole earth. It looked like a circle of fire, a ring of pulsating light and power, and in it I saw both men and angels. All down the ages, the ancient ones have appeared to men in a form which they could accept, and using the language of the day, which the world could understand, they have come to teach the people about God's truth and reveal to them by degrees the secrets of earth and heaven. The question arises, why has man fallen so far back? It is because in the earliest days of men, I was hoping I wasn't skipping a page there. It is because in the earliest days, men lived much more in the spirit than in the body. Or shall we say it was a more ethereal life. And they were aware of angels and visitants from other worlds. Since those days, man has become much more deeply imprisoned in matter. By his own choice, he has traveled a hard path. He has had to learn. He has had to pass tests and trials, bringing pain and suffering. But out of these experiences will come something wholly good, which will enable him in time to return in full consciousness to the perfect life of his creator.
God bless you.
Bless you. I think, we often wonder, it's been an age-old question, why is there suffering? Why is there evil? Why do we have to go through this? And I rather like C.S. Lewis's answer to that, is that we chose this.
Yeah. My guru also said we chose it. It was never meant to be, but we chose it.
Yeah. It's because there are certain lessons that are only available through suffering. Mm-hmm. And one of the things we have to learn is to really appreciate that other thing, that light, because you only really appreciate it when you don't have it.
Yes.
When you've lost it, when you have, had a taste of it and then it's snatched away from you.
And then we have to.
And then you appreciate it, and something in you dies and is reborn.
Yes, and it's by free will, because if that light wants, it can immediately come to us, but it doesn't come to us if we don't go for it out our free will.
Right.
Free will is very important in that, because the people, my guru said, people always ask, why does God let this happen and things like that? Mm-hmm. He says, you can only come to us by our free will.
Yes.
We don't interfere when you don't want it. We leave you totally free to go for the good or for the bad. It's your free will that brings you to, and then you appreciate it much more. It's not like if you're forced to it, then there is you didn't learn anything. Mm-hmm.
And Shakespeare is big on this as well. One of the differences between tragedy and comedy is whether or not there is an act of forgiveness and mercy. Mm-hmm. Some, like in I'll compare two plays. One is a tragedy, and one is a late comedy, a romance. It's really a fairy tale. In the tragedy Othello doesn't realize what he's lost in Desdemona until she's gone. But it's too late. He murdered her, And so what does he do? He commits suicide. But symbolically, in the language, you find that this suicide is a self-sacrifice. His higher self is putting to death his false self.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
The self that believed Iago's lies about Desdemona. In the play Cymbeline, you have the same plot, the same exact plot, except the hero in this time is prevented from that fatal act. And his bride is hidden from him, taken away, until he realizes what it is that he's done, and he awakens, and he realizes what it is that he had, and he threw it away. And that allows him to die and be reborn. And there is a death and rebirth experience for both masculine and feminine in that play. And then, of course, what we're talking about here is yin and yang, and the reunification of yin and yang, and the reunification of our full consciousness. And that always brings about a spiritual rebirth. Shakespeare, I'm convinced, had to have been a part of a mystery school.
Yeah, he was very hard. He was realized so.
He really was. He really was. Yeah, because he's saying so many of the same things that this stuff is saying.
So with you guys and all your smart stuff, I got a fortune cookie.
Hey.
I had a fortune cookie saying, that's awesome. I got a fortune cookie.
Right. This one says, always be modest. That was a good lesson for me. Anyway, go ahead.
So it said, life is a tragedy for those who feel and a comedy for those who think. Fortune cookie, right?
Yeah. I do not really agree with that, because
I think you need both.
You need both.
Yeah. But I thought it was good.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, your feelings are getting in higher. If you are, you can raise above the tragedy, above, tragedy. Or you can look at it from a kind of sense like Shakespeare does with humor. It's actually with humor too. Then you're above it, but still you can feel the pain, but it doesn't drag you down, I think.
Right. Well, I think the mind should lead, but if the mind does not listen to the heart and use the heart properly, if they don't work together, tragedy. Definitely. Yeah, and I always talk about the Wizard of Oz because it's such a beautiful myth that we have, and the Scarecrow is first, and Dorothy meets him first on the journey. And then in the middle part of the journey, the long middle part of the journey, and Dorothy and the Scarecrow are hungry, and they're going through the dark forest. They need the Tin Man. Just as in the Dark Night of the Soul, they need the lion. You need all three, and they got to learn to work together.
Yeah,
because when Dorothy is kidnapped by the witch and taken to the witch's castle, Toto, the intuition, escapes and leads the other three back to her.
Yeah,
and they have to work together. Always, if they don't work together, they're not going to rescue Dorothy, and Dorothy is of course us, the self.
Yeah. Actually, when they work totally together, your intuition is much more stronger. That's actually intuition, when it's perfect combination of logic and of feeling. Yeah, because only emotions is illusion, only mind is dry, and you need them both.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, what Beaufont said about the feeling, that's
because
because I take it as like, if you're always in your feelings about life, life's gonna suck for you. Because it's hard and it don't always go your way. It actually very rarely. It's always like, oh, great, now there's something else now, you know. But if you have the ability to think, like, you know, like The Fool, right? Alan Watson, The Fool, to be on the outside watching, you know, observing it, just enjoying it, then it's more of a comedy. Yeah. But
yes.
Because like the people that are offended, they're offended all the time because they're miserable shits that don't like they are. They're sad. It's sad, really. Feel bad for them.
It is sad for them because they're locked in their own consciousness.
Yeah, true.
That
they don't have a consciousness. I don't know what they're like.
Right. Well, they're collapsed into it, right? They have no distance on themselves whatsoever. They think a thing and they think it's real. They think that the little monkey chattering all the time is them.
Mm. Yeah,
it's not us. That is not us.
I understand Beaufort. Yeah, it's awareness, not emotion and awareness is something different. But sensitivity, I would say, not emotion. I would talk sensitivity is very important.
Right.
Emotion, it's more like emotion you get when you associate the happening with a feeling or with a remembering. It's not anymore pure. But the feeling and sensing is pure. I don't know how to say it. Sensing is pure. Emotion is kind of conditioning with the past.
Yeah.
Somebody experienced that in your youth, and then you met another person later on. It reminds you, and it brings up an emotion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? So emotions is like imaginative feelings, overthought feelings, not feelings. See, we need new words because they destroyed the shit out of them.
We do. We
communicate clearly.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
We have,
you know, to the early Christians back in 300 AD, the words mind, spirit, soul meant something completely different to us today.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why we need to either reclaim our language or come up with new words for those old original concepts.
Yeah. And in other languages,
for our inner life,
you have more words for different kind of awareness, different kind of like if you do Hindu and Sanskrit, you cannot translate in English because there is no word for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So
like Dharma, the word Dharma.
Yeah.
It's both truth and light and knowledge.
And behaving.
Yes. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes, or another good one is in Greek, the word paideia means both education and culture. The Greeks did not separate the two things.
Yeah.
All education was growth. Instead of just like this little sticking bits of information inside of this box up here in your brain. No, education for the Greeks was developing the full person.
Yeah.
Mind, heart, spirit, desires,
body,
definitely. All of it.
Exercise and stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Definitely. And that's Plato too. You've got to develop your mind and your body equally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Keeps you grounded. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. Okay.
But what I was saying though is like, so basically I feel like emotions aren't real and they can fluctuate and fleet and change, and feelings are real.
Yes.
Exactly.
I think that emotions.
Yeah.
C.S. Lewis talks about cultivating correct sentiments in your heart.
Yes.
Being passionate for truth.
Yeah.
Being passionate for justice.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's the proper use of the heart.
Yeah.
And you look at like the Scarecrow and the Tin Man, right? When they're in the witch's castle and they're cornered, and the Scarecrow looks up and he sees the witch's army, and then he looks up and he sees that chandelier overhead, right? And he looks up and he sees that. And so what does he do there? He takes a hold of the Tin Man's arms and The Tin Man is holding the axe. The Tin Man has the axe. Now, what does that axe represent? That's strength. That's power. And he guides the Tin Man to strike the rope, and then the chandelier falls on the witch's army. Mm-hmm. That is a perfect image in film of mind and heart working together. It's really a beautiful, beautiful image. Yeah. There's those little gems all throughout the Wizard of Oz. Yeah. Yeah. But, feeling, the right use of emotions is in the service of goodness, truth, and beauty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I had to talk to my son.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Oh, it's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Should I read a little bit more, or is that okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Okay. So, the belief that the spirituality and philosophy of the ancient Indians was brought to them by wise men from afar comes in many stories and legends still remembered by the American Indians. White Eagle himself has told us of the folk tales and myths which remain among the American Indians about the coming of, quote, the feathered gods. Wonderful men who came from across the sea bringing light and salvation. These legends from the past find echoes in more recent stories. For instance, in the book, He Walked the Americas by L. Taylor Hansen, where he gives firsthand accounts by living Indians of legends of a sainted one or prophet who came to the people from over the seas. The name by which he is known varies from tribe to tribe. I was particularly interested to note that the Seneca tribe refer to him as Hiawatha, meaning he that comes from a far way off. As this name is so similar to my ancient teacher in my lifetime among the Mayas, and his name was Hawata, the name by which White Eagle was known in an incarnation in ancient America, which I have described in my other book, The Illumined Ones. I am not, of course, suggesting that Hawata was, in fact, the sainted one, but it is interesting that the teaching White Eagle is giving us now is strikingly similar to the teaching given by that sainted one so long ago, described in Taylor's book, an indication that all the teaching originates from the same one source. In the book, He Walked the Americas, the descriptions of the sainted one and of his spiritual qualities vary but little from legend to legend. Again and again, he is described as beautiful, radiant, with fair complexion, fair hair, and blue eyes, and he wore a white robe beautifully embroidered around the edges with the symbol of the cross. He gave the Indians many proofs of his white magical powers by healing the sick and restoring the dead to life. I should like to quote the legend of the sacred city, which is by an old and revered Native American. Quote, I came to take you back to the ancients and to the times of our people's greatness. I thought to take the legends with me even into the land of shadows. But the young man who came so far to seek me reasoned well before the fire. He said I had no right to silence, for the stories belonged to all our people, so long as one Indian walked the earth. They must go on past this generation and to that unborn soul who might be listening and wishing to hark back to the ancients in the generations to come, wherever they be. Therefore, tonight, I am here to take you walking back through the dawn star cycles of the past to a time long distant when the land was not as you see it today. Past the memories of our grandfathers' grandfathers, I take you with me to the days of the healers and the times of our people's greatness. Coming north from our capital city, where the Mississippi meets the Missouri, in the long boats of the traders, the prophet made his journey towards the sacred city we called, let's see, I can't pronounce the name. I'll just skip it. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. This city was called sacred because it was in the center of the cross of waters from whence ran the rivers to the four oceans. East to the sunrise ran the waters, and northwards to the sea of dancing lights. To the west, beyond the great divide, the waters ran to the sea of the sunset, while the Missouri and Mississippi ran to the southern sea, to the Sea of the Caribs. Of course, that's where we get the name Caribbean Sea. To this, the city of the great cross of waters up the river, called the Father of Waters, that's the Mississippi River. One golden morning came the healer himself. The dawn cascaded down upon him as he left the ships of the merchants, painting his hair and beard with beauty and lighting up his lofty features. The streets were petaled with flowers before him as he walked toward the temple. Greatly beloved now was the pale god, known as the Lord of Wind and Water. His every move bespoke his kindness. His very touch revealed his divinity, and before him bowed down all people. Through rows of temple worshippers, he moved in quiet solemnity, holding up his hand in blessing, that hand with the strange palm marking on it. For through it was engraved the cross which he had taken as his symbol. There at the temple he abode among us, though he often rode away with the merchants, or more often walked to distant villages, holding in his hand his great staff, and stopping to speak with all, from the aged to the young children. Such was the old Indians' story of the coming of the great healer. Elsewhere, the book tells of the legendary healing power of this great one. Other legends show us that the sainted one taught the Indians the ancient law of brotherhood and love, and always to counsel together in peace. Many legends refer to the dawn star. They tell us that the sainted one taught the people to look to the dawn star for guidance and direction in their lives, that he concentrated on Venus, the dawn star, as a focal point for his aspiration and prayers, and that originally he had come to the earth from Venus. White Eagle, too, has often referred to the brotherhood on Venus and told us that he has, quote, seen the sun rise on that planet. Speaking of the legendary sainted one, White Eagle said in 1949, quote, the story is that he came mysteriously to the Indian peoples and taught them about the wonderful life beyond the sun, taught them the lessons of peace, brotherhood, and goodwill, and all the beautiful truths which Jesus the Christ also taught to his disciples in his day. At the appointed time, the Indians saw him depart. He is supposed to have entered his canoe and sailed away down the river to the west, right into the sun. His symbol was that of the all-seeing eye.
I was in Canajoharie, and there was a shop, and it was a Native American shop, and he talked the same about that, about Jesus Christ, that he came in another kind of, not the same to their tribes too, and he talked almost the same like you did now.
All truth comes from the same source.
Yeah. It was like actually totally the same. Anyway, he was a Canajoharie Native American living in north of upper state New York. It's kind of interesting. He told me exactly the same.
Right. Well, that was the area of the 5 tribes that formed the Iroquois Confederation. Very spiritual people. Very spiritual people. Yes.
Very interesting. It was very nice to meet those people, and I met more than because I have a kind of connection also with Native Americans. Anyhow, it was really nice.
Right. Yeah.
What tribe was it?
It was Seneca, and I think
Seneca.
Yeah. And
I'm sorry, I didn't know. I thought you said it.
And the one I met, the Native American was Iroquois. How do you speak it? Iroquois or
Susan, don't you have native blood in your ancestry?
Yeah, Passamaquoddy.
Okay, where is that from? Okay,
Maine Canada border on the Canada border.
Cool.
Yeah,
I also have
the Iroquois
real close by to there.
Attack Passamaquoddy all the time, and the Maliseet and the Micmac. So they had to form their own Wabanaki Confederation to be able to fight off the Iroquois.
Right.
You won't believe it, but I have a little bit Cherokee.
Really?
Cherokee.
Wow.
in me.
Okay.
I don't know how it comes in me, but anyhow, it seems to be in me. Yeah, it must be from Pocahontas somewhere when she traveled to England or some. I don't know.
Cool. You know, the other thing I found really interesting there is the symbolism of the cross. You can find the symbol of the cross everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of times it's the symbol that represents the sun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And transformation.
Yeah. Yeah, Jesus in India,
sun,
they call him also Sri Surya. Sri Surya and Jesus are the same for them. Surya is the sun, Sanskrit for sun.
Isn't one of the oldest Christian churches in India was dedicated to Saint Thomas, and Saint Thomas, according to ancient legend, went to India, and if you've ever read the Gnostic Gospel of Thomas, it's so much like there's hints of definitely Hinduism and Buddhism and definitely Zen.
Yeah, but Jesus, Jesus went also between his 13 years, like you, Susan, you told me, I'd look it up. Between his 13 years and 28, he went to India and different places. And he was much more accepted there. Then he went back to his country where he was born. And after his death, because he didn't really die, he was buried, but he didn't really die. He went to India with his mother, and you can visit the grave of Mother Mary in India and of Jesus in Kashmir.
Interesting.
I would
don't
really
tell,
love to
don't tell
do
the
that.
Vatican that. Don't tell the Vatican.
Yeah, no, you have to see it's the documentary of the Indian government about Jesus. It's really good because my guru said it's exactly how it was.
Right.
So, and there he got his knowledge from the Vedas actually. So, and he felt much more happier in India because those people are much more closer to the source.
And I also think that he probably definitely was in Egypt at a mystery school in Egypt.
Yes, could be also.
Yeah, and he was also with the Essenes, and the Essenes were also very spiritual people.
Yeah, he traveled a lot, and he went also to England, and I know where he planted a tree, and I saw that tree in Glastonbury, so to visit it.
I posted an image from Glastonbury Tower. It's called Glastonbury Tor, and that's also you did. Yeah, it's right on the same ley line as Avebury and Stonehenge, and it goes right across the tip of Cornwall all the way through East Anglia. So it goes east to west like that. And there are many, many power spots along that ley line.
Yeah, it's
obviously
super interesting. It was one of my best week travel. So much, amazing things we saw.
I'm just like dying to go back to England and revisit those places. It's just like,
I'm in. I would love to go also.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. It's one of my favorite places. I feel really at home there. I felt really at home in Ireland too. I've got a lot of Celtic ancestry.
Yeah, you have.
Scottish, Irish, and Basque as well. I've never been to the Basque region in Spain.
Okay.
Those are also a Celtic people as well.
Yeah.
Or common ancestry. So anyway.
Yeah, the Celts were like all the way up the coast and down into Spain, and they weren't just in England. They were
all over. Until the Romans
Romans
came. The Romans did what the Romans did,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, what they do now.
What? Yeah, there was actually
Roman Empire, and it's like third or fourth millennium now.
And it's Fourth Reich.
Yeah, true. It started then. It never went down.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, definitely.
It didn't. I really feel like it was like the massive. I think it was the beginning of like the families that formed the secret societies or whatever that did do everything that's now. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's it's like the same kind of parasites that were in Babylon and that probably infiltrated ancient Sumeria and probably tried to take over, and eventually did, I think, take over Egypt.
Yeah.
You know,
no,
when did this? What's that?
What do you mean, Rome taking over Egypt?
No. You know, I think these parasites ended up in Rome, definitely.
Oh yeah.
You know, this dark energy, and then they ended up in Venice, and the Italian city-states, the bankers. And then they made their way up into the Netherlands, and then they made their way over to England.
And you have those families in Italy.
Central banking. Yes.
Yeah, that's the Medicis.
Yes.
Yeah, and weren't they the good bankers, and the other bankers were like,
Cosimo,
and the church was like, no, this ain't gonna happen. And they scalped the Medicis. Yeah.
Cosimo and Lorenzo the Magnificent were patrons of culture and the Renaissance. They supported Michelangelo and helped people like Marsilio and Da Vinci and people like Marsilio Ficino translate Plato and Plotinus and all of this ancient culture into Italian and spread it around.
Yep.
And I think that was one of the reasons why they had so many enemies, and eventually they were overthrown.
Oh yeah, and the church had a big hand in that. The church did not like it at all.
Right. Yeah. Florence has a real interesting history.
Yeah, Florence is very beautiful to visit.
Very beautiful. Yeah. Have you been to? I'm sure you've been to Italy, Christine.
Yes,
have you?
A lot. Yeah.
So I never been.
It's so beautiful, India.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Maybe we'll go.
The Amalfi Coast is from Rome. You go all the way to Amalfi Coast to Naples.
Yeah.
It's not big, so you can do with the Vespa. Like it's so nice between the Italian. It's a lot of fun actually. Italian is actually quite happy folk and happy people actually.
Yeah, they're very
Although
happy.
Vatican is there, they're the opposite. I mean, they're
right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's funny because those people can handle probably the energy from the Vatican because they are not related to it. I mean, the Italians have nothing to do with Vatican. Eh?
Right.
No,
it's really different. That it's totally different spirit.
It's a city-state, just like this DC has nothing to do with any American citizens.
Yes, exactly.
3 city-states: the City of London, Vatican City, and the District of Columbia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all
not beholden to.
And they're all trying to kill us.
Yep. One of them is the spiritual control system, which is the Vatican. The other is the economic control system, which is the City of London. And the third one is the military control system, which is Pentagon.
Yeah. Which technically makes us the grunts of the situation as a whole. Yeah. And the grunts are always expendable. So I'm just saying, we're on the shit list.
Right.
They are.
Exactly. Yeah. Indeed. Yeah. Cool. All right. Should I read some more?
Oh, is there more left in that chapter?
Oh God. Oh yeah. There's plenty more. Actually, no, just one more page in the first chapter. So let me. I'll just go ahead and finish that up.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see where. Oh yes. Okay. So he was talking about the planet Venus, which was I thought that was really interesting. Speaking of the legendary sainted one, White Eagle said in 1949, the story is that he came mysteriously to the Indian peoples and taught them about the wonderful life beyond the sun, taught them the lessons of peace, brotherhood, and goodwill, and all the beautiful truths which Jesus the Christ also taught his disciples. At the appointed time, the Indians saw him depart. He is supposed to have entered his canoe and sailed away down the river to the west, right into the sun. His symbol was that of the all-seeing eye. It was believed by the Indians that their savior was always with them and was watching over them protectively. In a sense, his was a magical, a spiritual eye, all-seeing, all-loving, and they knew that his eye was upon them, and so all was well. After all his research among the Indians, when he was gathering information for his book, The Gospel of the Red Man, Ernest Thompson Seton concluded that the Indians were, quote, the most heroic and physically perfect race the world has ever seen, and had the most spiritual civilization.
It's true.
That's hard to argue. That really is hard to argue.
My guru said also the most spiritual people were the Native Americans. And who killed them? The white people.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, actually, it's big karma for
Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So definitely. Wait, all my DNA ancestors are literally war right now. My body.
Mm-hmm.
I'm crazy. You can't make a decision.
How many voices are in your head? I don't know.
Yeah, I stopped counting a long time ago.
Gemini Moon. Hashtag Gemini Moon.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, jeez. Okay. Let me just finish this. And White Eagle, from his own memory and vision of the past, says, "Try to forget all you have read and heard about savage Indians living in wigwams. Not all Indians were nomadic. The Indians of whom we speak had beautiful buildings, beautiful homes. In spite of all the misrepresentations, our ancient Indian brethren were simple at heart, so simple and loving and gentle. They were men of character and strength of purpose, possessing great courage and endurance. There were many tribes, they spoke many languages, and lived at many different levels of development. But one factor all had in common, and this was a deep sense of honor and morality, of goodness. The Indian culture goes back far beyond any known historical or archaeological record of the ancient Red Indian civilization. It is very little understood by the present day scholar, and it cannot easily be interpreted because man has not developed that spiritual quality which will enable him to read the truth found on the stone tablets and remnants of earlier civilizations buried in the distant forests, not only in South America and Mexico, but in North America as well. The civilization of the Indian was one of the most beautiful and ancient civilizations there has ever been on Earth."
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's the first chapter.
Yeah, if they were survived, then we were already long time in heaven. Really.
I think they lived in a perpetual state of heightened awareness.
Yes.
Those people, those ancient people, and certainly even up until the conquest, their holy men and women, their seers and their shamans certainly were as well. Definitely, yeah. It's we're living at a time where we're making a choice collectively as a race. And I also think that we are also making individual choices as well. And I do not feel responsible for those that are choosing to remain behind here in this old paradigm. I don't feel like their free will choice binds me in any way, nor does mine bind them.
No.
Yeah. So we are all offered a choice, definitely.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, definitely. So this is a great book. I'm so glad I found this author, and it's definitely one to read and reread. I've actually read the Illumined ones twice now. I can't wait to have time to read it again. Because you both would love it, because especially the second half of it, which covers Egypt. It's magic. It's real magic. And the first half of it, the Mayan section, talks about elementals and her initiation into the mystery school there. So it's a powerful book. It's really a powerful book. And then her third book, which is called The Light in Britain, is basically her channelings of ancient ceremonies that took place during the last golden age. So yeah, it's a really, really good book. Really good book.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it really is wonderful. Yeah, cool stuff. So, where's Gerard? Did we lose him?
He said he was going to enter another dimension where technology didn't operate.
There he is.
If so, there he is. There he is. Yay! He's been listening. Good. All right. He is. He's the one that's actually working today.
Yeah. Can you turn up the volume?
We can barely hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Oh,
We
wow.
hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, right.
Just for 1 second. No, I'm here. I can't hear nobody. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we definitely hear you.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
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 Did you get the water?
Hello?
Are you?
Yeah, we
Yes,
hear you.
yes, we can hear you.
You can hear me? I can't hear you. Are you talking? Maybe all your microphones are broken because I can't hear anything.
Really?
Oh, wow.
I think it's not me. It must be the three of you. It must be. All right.
How
No.
could it be?
I'm interrupted. I can't hear anything. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting water.
Yay.
I'm getting
Water is good. Water is life.
I'll be right back. Give me 20 minutes and I'll be 30 minutes. I'll be back.
Okay.
But I'm listening.
All right. All right.
Okay?
Yeah, you have to
Yay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Christine, for the signals. Christine got it. She knows, girl. She's in Belgium. She is on it. The Americans are no damn right. We are crazy? What was that?
We hear you.
We heap. We here. Okay. All right. Thank you, Susan, for answering for everybody. Thank you, Susan. Thank you. All right. I'm sorry. I'm being abusive and disruptive and all that great stuff. Y'all enjoy your class. I'm listening. I can't hear anything. It's Jack.
Really?
I don't know what the hell is going on. And Beaufont just typed something. I don't even want to read it. So I'm gonna let y'all get back to education because I'm just talking trash.
G is snuggling with the cougars at the mall. Lordy. Oh God.
Yeah, but see, you can tell he's in. You know, the dimensions are glitching wherever he is.
Right. He's shifting between realms.
Yeah, because
he's going in and out. He's phasing. Yeah, he's phasing. Good.
Okay, so now we have to find something to talk about for 30 minutes.
Do you guys want to keep going here and start in on the second chapter, or is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can still do.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Susan, is that all right with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So the second chapter is.
No,
What's
it's not
that?
all right for me. Let's sit here and discuss what else we can do.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
All right. The second chapter is called The Brotherhood. Okay. The Sun Men, or God Men, who brought the ancient wisdom to humanity were messengers from that great brotherhood of the cross of light within the circle of light, the Great White Brotherhood. Obviously, it was racist. which since the beginning of life on Earth has had mankind in its care. Some of the messengers settled in the Andes and established a center of the Brotherhood there. White Eagle himself has spoken of his memories of a group of brothers in the Andes who wore white robes ornamented with gold and plumed headdresses.
That's a lot of white, man. I don't know if we can keep it to you. You said white robes, white brotherhood.
We're gonna get canceled real quick.
Mountain tops, white snow.
It's going against the community standards.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry. Your live stream now is against community standards.
You said white too many times in a paragraph.
Right. So, if you have already read my earlier book, The Illumined Ones, you will know of my own memories of life in the Andes in ages long past, when White Eagle, known then as Hawata, was an initiate of this brotherhood. Through the ages, the ancient brotherhood has worked to help man in his spiritual evolution and search for truth. Some of its number work in the invisible world, and others periodically take on a physical body to enable them to do a specific piece of work on Earth. This White Eagle has done many times. I have written of 2 such lives in my book, The Illumined Ones, when he was Hawata in America, and the priest Isra in ancient Egypt. White Eagle tells us, quote, "When we were wearing the dress of the North American Indian with the power of the Great Spirit, we were able to accomplish an important piece of work. We don't speak with the object of drawing attention to a particular personality. That is not important. But we came back to Earth with this personality because our work is closely connected with the American Indian life and the work of the Brotherhood that was begun and established during the prehistoric period. Its symbol was the cross of light within a circle, and it was known as the Brotherhood of the Light, or the White Brotherhood, or sometimes as the Star Brotherhood. My own first knowledge of the Brotherhood in my present life came many years ago when I was told by White Eagle that I was linked with an ancient brotherhood. He told me to remember this always and to seek the cave of the Brotherhood of the Cross within the circle. As my psychic powers developed, I had many out-of-body experiences, and I remember on one occasion being taken in meditation to a beautiful place. I do not know exactly where, and finding myself with my guide at the entrance to a cave from which a bright light issued. I was taken into this cave and felt at once the spiritual power which was in the light. An assembly of people robed in simple white robes with white sleeves covering folded arms stood round the cave. They created a great circle of white light, and from north to south and east to west of the cave was drawn also an immense cross of light. I could see that a silent ceremony was taking place, and I was enfolded in a feeling of pure love and power. Illumination is the word to describe what I experienced. I knew that within this wonderful circle of light and love, no harm could ever touch me. I felt tremendously strong and yet so small and humble within its power. There next came a feeling of absorption, as though I was being absorbed into the light, but instead of losing myself, I found I became much bigger and greater than my little self. I became part of the entire people. I was at one with this infinite and eternal circle of light, and the words rang in my ears, repeated again and again in melodious chant. There is no death. There is no death. There is no death. I knew deep in my soul that there was indeed no death. Man lives forever in the beautiful garden of spirit, and while still retaining his individuality, he will become at one with all life. He will become as one with the flowers, the trees, the running water, the birds, the animals, the mountains, and the valleys. He will return to the knowledge of the Garden of Eden, the beginning and the end, the complete circle of the great light. The powerful chanting went on and on, working up to a crescendo of power and ecstasy. I realized I was taking part in a very ancient Indian ritual. I have no words to describe adequately the unbounded joy and happiness I felt in this circle of light. How long I held the contact, I have no idea. Time did not exist. I just was. In this glory, this perfect peace and complete happiness, I was united in spirit with all my loved ones. I retained my own individuality, but was part of and absorbed by this circle of light, the eternal life. Thinking about this meditation later, I remembered White Eagle's words of many years before when he had said, quote, "Look to the brotherhood from the cave of the cross of light within the circle." So this is what he meant. The cave, or meeting place, I think the term cave is symbolic of its being within the inner or soul world, where the ancient brotherhood assemble to send forth the power of light and love to man and all creation. Many years ago, I was given a portrait of White Eagle painted under inspiration by the artist named are the Kaji. One of the first features that struck me about this picture was the symbol of the cross within the circle on the left of the headband. This, together with his constant references to the Brotherhood, has convinced me of White Eagle's priesthood in the Brotherhood of the Cross of Light within the circle. White Eagle told us something of the inner work of the Brotherhood when he said, quote, "These brethren who dwell in the mountaintops, which can mean an elevated state of consciousness, who gather together in small groups or lodges in remote places, are working unceasingly for the spiritual unfolding and advancement of humanity. They have reached a level of spirituality which has brought them into close communion with the great eternal spirit. They do not live to themselves, however remote their abode, for they are so attuned to the infinite that their consciousness embraces all life. They can still take on a physical form, for they have passed through and mastered all degrees and grades of human life. They comprehend the slightest, the most simple need of any human being. They are all love and understanding. They do not coerce. They allow their younger brethren absolute freedom. Their work consists of worshiping God, their creator, and through that work, they radiate light and love. The elder brethren labor ceaselessly for you and for all men, but men do not recognize their benign influence. From time to time, in the history of mankind, teachers have come to the earth with a new religion in quotation marks, as it is called. In reality, there are no new religions, but only teachers, such as the saints and the sages of all time who come to restate spiritual truth. All down the ages, these ancient ones have appeared to mankind in a form which man could accept. They have used the language of the day which the people at that time could understand. The names of these ancient ones differed from age to age, but always they have come, bringing the light to mankind. They came as saviors. They came to the people in exactly the same way as did Jesus, himself a messenger, a savior. It was said in ancient days that these souls came from the sun or from Venus, that they were sun gods. You think of Christ, who illumined the man called Jesus as, quote, the only begotten Son of the Father. This is true. Christ is truly the third aspect of the deity, the only begotten of the Father, Mother, God. But this universal Christ, light, has had a number of manifestations apart from the one with the name called Jesus. There have been other Christed ones. Christ is everywhere, infinite, eternal. Christ always has been and always will be. Christ has come again and again and has always brought the same message. In days gone by, when we ourselves lived in a body of flesh, we were acquainted with such a one. The message was the same, and the messenger appeared miraculously. As has happened since, the sun gods were crucified and they rose again, teaching the people about the mysteries of birth, life, crucifixion, and resurrection. These sun gods have visited Britain as well, but none today knows about them. There are still markings on stones all over the world which record their visitation and which one day will be read and understood by initiates. These things are only for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. One thing I'd like to add here is the symbol of the spiral. You often find spirals in 2s and in 3s. Mm-hmm. All over the world, and they're always on stone monuments. Mm-hmm. An hour away from here at Painted Rock Petroglyph site, I went out there about a year ago. I took about 40 different pictures, and the spiral is everywhere all over those petroglyph sites. I went to Newgrange 12 years ago in Ireland, and they're full of pairs and triplets of spirals. in triangular and in binary forms.
Yes, and can I?
Yeah.
That is actually the Kundalini. That's the divine energy who's
Yes.
settled at the sacred bone down on your
Right.
back.
The serpent
And
that coils around the base of the spine. Yes.
And it sleeps until it's awakened. And with your awareness that rises and your desire for spiritual growth,
right,
it will rise and it will bring you the knowledge and the light closer together. And it's in every culture. Yeah, you can see.
Yeah, it is. It is. Sometimes it's in code, definitely, but it's always there.
Well, it's also like the infinity symbol, right? And you go like this and you go like this, but it always crosses. It makes
it. Right.
It
The intersection.
It connects. It intersects.
Yes. The cross. One of the symbolisms of the cross is the intersection between time and eternity, and they meet now in the present.
Yes.
And that's where the energy and power of light enters time right now.
Yeah.
That's just one symbol. Of course, it's the crisis point too for us. The present is always the crisis point for us. You know, what am I doing right now? Or as the I Ching says, the superior person does not let his or her thoughts go beyond the present moment. Because the past is gone and there is no future. The future only exists in your mind.
Yeah, that's why you have to stay in the present, and you're most protected in the present because nothing can happen because you are totally like a tree centered.
Yeah.
Like strong tree.
Yeah. Indeed. You know, the symbol of the spiral is also, of course, all over nature as well. It's, of course, the Fibonacci. It's represented in the spiral galaxy.
Yeah. And look at your fingertip. Look, there are spirals on the top. Look at your fingertips.
Or your thumbprint.
Yeah, your thumb. Yeah.
Right. Oh. Right. It's everywhere. It's in the arrangement of the petals around, in flowers. It's the way that a barrel cactus grows.
Yeah. When you cut a tree, it's full of, you see.
Full of rings.
Yes, rings, yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes you see it in animals or in plants, like formed in a spiral. I don't have it here, but it's like a hole on the shells of the seashells. You can see how it's built. It's like a spiral. It's coiled in 3.5, like big seashells and different
like
kinds of nature.
What's it called? The nautilus shells. It starts like that, and then and then there's an opening, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Or just regular garden snails have the same shells.
Oh yeah, also yeah.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful.
It's beautiful because nature is both a manifestation of spirit and reveals spirit to us always.
Yes,
everywhere. We
have to have our eyes open for it. Yeah. Right. Once we are ready, we see. Yeah, it's true.
Right. It's well, that's why I fell in love with Emerson and Thoreau in my teen years, because they were in tune with all of this and they spoke about it. They were out there living. Well, Thoreau anyway was out there living in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. What time are we? Oh, we're about an hour and 20 minutes. So, okay. Should we? Are you up for a little bit more, or should we call it? Yeah. Is it late for you, Christine?
Well, it's 11:30. It's okay. Never mind.
Okay. Okay.
That's for the people if they still feel like.
Do we still have a live studio audience? Okay, Lori's here.
Yeah, there's
Beaufont
like
is
no
here.
energy today.
I know. They're all listening, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's animals only live in the present.
Yes, indeed they do. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Christ Henderson is here. She wants to hear more.
Yeah, they just arrived. The Lori also.
Citizen
Yeah.
Deb is here. Hi, Citizen Deb. How are you?
Okay.
Cool. Okay, Lori's here. Hi, Lori. All right.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
let
hear
me.
Gerard on the background.
I don't hear him. Is he there?
Yeah, I thought I heard him.
Is Dad listening to us? Okay. Okay.
Okay. Mhm. Yeah.
In days gone by, this is White Eagle again. In days gone by, when we ourselves lived in a body of flesh, we were acquainted with such a one. The message was the same, and the messenger appeared miraculously. As has happened since, the sun gods were crucified and they rose again, teaching the people about the mysteries of birth, life, crucifixion, and resurrection. These sun gods have visited Britain as well, but none today knows about them. There are still markings on stones all over the world which record their visitation, and which one day will be read and understood by initiates. These things are only for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. There is a world composed of finer ethers, which is just within your own solid in quotation marks, world. It is not the spirit life, as you understand it, to which you go when your body dies, but something closer to earth. Within this finer world, these ancient brethren of the sun still live and worship in their sun temples and sun cities. Why are the sun people still around the earth? Because they have work to do with the earth and with humanity. Silently and unknown to mankind, this life goes on, and the spiritual light from it is penetrating the earthly darkness. Man thinks that all good comes from himself, not realizing that he is just an instrument of spiritual forces and the spiritual life. However, he has free will, he has the power of choice, and can respond to all that is true and lovely and good, or he can reject these things, and following the path of self, find only darkness and confusion. These are the forces playing upon man, both negative and positive. Through the ages, men have gathered together in groups to radiate the light. We speak not of recognized churches or religions, but of those inner brotherhoods to whom the ancient secrets have always been entrusted. Many today are beginning to stir under the influence of the power of the Spirit. In some cases, their minds are being stimulated instead of their hearts. The mind can be a very cruel taskmaster. The mind can be a very cruel taskmaster and lead to destruction. This has happened on more than one occasion when there has been desire for mental power and knowledge without a corresponding development of the heart center within man's soul. But we could take you to a ceremony where the brethren have great knowledge and where there is immense power, and yet you would be impressed not so much with the depth of knowledge displayed, but rather would you be overcome by the gentle love, simplicity, and humility. And you would learn from such an experience that mental development, without accompanying love, has no power except that of disintegration. Love is the only power which can create and coordinate all forces and use them for the happiness and progress of man's life on earth and in heaven. This should encourage you, my brethren, to follow the narrow path of brotherly love. White Eagle's words show us that this ancient brotherhood has been concerned throughout the ages with teaching mankind the age-old spiritual truths upon which all life and religion are founded. The brotherhood, which was established in America, became the center from which this teaching was given to the Indians of both North and South America. These people were shown how to live their whole lives in accordance with spiritual truth and the principles of the brotherhood. Thus was the work of the brotherhood centered in America in ages long past, and the spiritual blessing and heritage the brothers brought to the American Indian people has remained with them. The brotherhood has now withdrawn much more from the physical plane than in those far off days, but their guidance and influence remain. The symbol of the brotherhood has a beautiful meaning. The cross is the cross of matter to which man is bound while in incarnation. But all the while, he is enfolded in the love of God, the circle of light and eternity. Thus, the cross signifies the sacrifice and suffering or the bondage of the earthly life. The circle is God's eternal and enfolding love. That the symbol of the cross within the circle is still deeply enshrined in the Indian culture is shown by the following passage from the book Touch the Earth by the author T.C. McLuhan. Quote, one of the symbols that expresses most completely the heaven, that expresses most completely Plains Indian concept of the relationship between man and the world of nature surrounding him is a cross inscribed within a circle. The symbol is painted on a number of ritual objects and on the bodies and heads of men who participate in tribal ceremonies. Its form is reflected in the circular shape and central fire of the teepee, the Indian's home. Its pattern is found in the sun dance and purification lodges and in many of the ritual movements. At the center of the circle, uniting within a point, the cross of four directions of space and all the other quaternaries of the universe is mankind. Without the awareness that he bears within himself of this sacred center, a man is in fact less than a man. It is to recall the virtual reality of this center that the Indians have so many rites based on the cross within the circle. That's chapter 2. It's very short.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Powerful,
Very nice.
isn't it? It's very beautiful, isn't it? Yeah,
Very beautiful.
it is.
Yeah.
You know, reading this just really does, for a while, elevate your awareness.
Yeah,
I think.
It does.
It's like a great work of art, you know.
It is.
You know, you go to see a great film like Dead Poets Society, which I watched last night, and you're
Okay.
just silent afterwards.
Yeah,
You know, you're just blown away.
it's good.
I mean, nothing else can top something like that. You know, you're just amazed. No, I don't have anything to say. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to go out and look at the stars now. You know, that's the experience that something that is transformative can lift you up for a while. Joseph Campbell in his book The Power of Myth talks about that experience and what it must have been like for ancient peoples entering the temple, whether it's the Temple of Man in Susan, is the Temple of Man in Abydos or is it in Luxor? I was trying to remember that because you posted on that a few days ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Luxor.
Right. And Joseph Campbell talks about entering St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. And, you know, New York City is full of bustle and energy and noise and 3D. And then you
It's on a
step
ley line
up.
too, and they did something shitty to that ley line.
Mhm. Yeah. It
Okay.
poisoned it,
bad.
didn't they? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And he talks about walking up the steps of the cathedral and entering into the cathedral. And it's a Gothic cathedral. It's, of course, not a, you know, it was built in, the 19th century, but it's still a Gothic cathedral. And you enter it,
Yes.
and all of the sound of the city is shut out once you enter into the cathedral.
That's
And it's
nice.
quiet.
Mhm.
And you really do enter a different mind space.
Mhm. Normally, it's meant to be like that, when you
Yes.
enter a kind of holy
Yes.
place. Yeah.
And
it was
a,
actually in Notre Dame also, but
Yes.
they burned it. It was actually a very extreme, highly awareness, holy
Mhm.
place.
that
Yeah,
I can't prove it, but I'm convinced that was done deliberately.
it was really done deliberately, I believe. And
Mhm.
then
But-
there was Joan
Notre
Dame? The alchemists call it the Philosopher's Cathedral
Yeah,
because
And-
of the symbolism in it.
yeah, and
And
It's
the
full of
sacred
alchemical
geometry
symbolism.
in it.
Yes. hmm
and
absolutely.
Joan of Dark was a refuge and
Mhm.
refuge.
Yes.
She was But she was she was an angel actually, Joan of Dark. I mean, she was a human in angel form,
Well,
an angel in human form like that.
mhm,
And she vibrated actually that church very much. That's why it's also very holy. And
Right.
she represents a part of the warrior aspect in the heart from the people.
Right.
She's a
Right.
part of it.
Mhm,
So
yeah.
and that's why that Notre Dame is actually amazing. I saw it before it was burned, but
Yeah,
it's really
I did
done
too.
on purpose because it had very strong, powerful light coming out.
Right. And they're gonna put some, kind of, bullshit, New World Order
Yeah,
roof on it or symbolism or something like that.
Yeah.
Just waiting for that bullshit to come down the pipe.
yeah.
know?
They destroyed the
Mhm.
vibrations there, so
Yes. hmm
it's gone.
Right. Right.
And
Fortunately, we
what
have a lot of other Gothic cathedrals,
Yeah.
but Notre Dame is special.
Yeah. Yeah,
Indeed.
and you know who was there when it happened? Michelle from the wife of Obama, Barack.
Michelle Obama was there.
She was there, yes, at that moment. Yeah, I think, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because she
Really?
had to eat a baby before they did it. Makes it stronger. Dude, they're crazy. Seriously. That is real.
Did you know? It was on Jimmy Dore today. It was on Jimmy Dore. No, I saw, yeah. And it was about someone who was actually first speaking for the freedom for the Palestinians, but then later he apologized for Israel. Probably got a movie producer, probably because Hollywood pressed him. And then later on, he
There he
tweeted
is.
to Hillary, "Oh, Hillary, I know
Yeah.
you don't eat babies," and things like that. You're a really good person. I tweeted that.
He said that? Yeah. They're going to start turning on each other.
Come on. I know you don't eat babies.
That's great.
Yeah.
I want to
Gerard's got a new straw hat today.
Yeah,
He must
nice.
have bought a new one. That old one was like, had a huge chunk missing out of the top of it.
Yeah, this is a nice hat. It's sombrero kind of.
Right,
yes.
there he is.
Mexican.
Okay, he's gone.
The turkey
He didn't
culture.
even want to talk about
No, I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know-
it's like crazy. Yeah. Mark Ruffalo. Yes, Mark Ruffalo. It was Mark Ruffalo. Yeah.
Mark
I don't
Ruffalo
know.
said it. Said,
Yeah, he said it.
Mhm. Yeah, Lori.
Yeah,
He
I
did.
okay, Hillary, we know
He
you don't
did.
eat babies.
So
That's
it's like
freaking great.
Yeah,
That's
but you
great.
Know, yeah, but it's actually great because he confirms that it's true. He actually confirms it's true. Otherwise, why do you tweet that? Yeah, Hillary, we
Yeah.
know you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well,
Because-
that's like the law of the universe, right? Like they
Mhm.
have to expose what they're doing. They have to
Yeah.
Yeah.
at least let you know this is what we're doing.
Right.
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 And like
right.
we're taking
That's
it as they're going to
consent.
come on. Right. And,
Mhm.
and we're like, oh, they're not coming on TV telling us we're going to round up 1,000 children and eat them.
Mhm.
And it's like, yeah, but they do it in movies. That's how they tell you what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like they
yeah,
do
that's
it.
true.
Or in Bush Senior's New World Order speech.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes.
Right.
And like,
Things like that.
I saw a
Mhm.
thing not too long ago. It might have even been today. There was a commercial for Hulu. It might have been a Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, your mindless brain's just full of mush. What are you going to turn off the TV and computer? Ha ha ha. And then like a lizard tail comes out from behind him. Right. It's that, who's that dude with all the brothers? Alex?
Jones, no.
No. Alec Baldwin. It was
Oh,
him.
yeah.
With
Really?
the reptilian tail. Right.
Right.
So they're basically saying, ha, we're all reptilians. Look at my tail. We're mushing your brains. And like you just think this is a commercial and you're gonna keep
Well,
watching. So
Every
It's all
Hulu
legal.
every Hulu ad that I get on Facebook is Greta.
Yeah.
Is that Greta show
Oh,
that they have on
really?
Hulu?
Ah,
Yes.
Really?
oh great.
Yes.
God.
Yes.
Yes.
God.
Oh my god.
I've commented on a few. I on one of them I commented Hulu and because it was like there were like it was angry emojis or laugh emojis and then like emojis, so you could tell that people aren't falling for that bullshit.
Do you know YouTube turned off the dislike button on all Biden's pieces? It was getting so many dislikes.
I'm not
you're
at all
not
surprised.
allowed to like or dislike
Sure.
it.
Right.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But back to the consent thing, right? Because
Yeah.
so everybody's like, oh, but it's the Matrix. It's the way it is. You gotta learn to work it for your benefit or whatever, right? But if I know on a deep level that it's totally wrong and I participate and I die, then I get stuck doing another cycle because I didn't fully. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So
it's our actions. It's our actions and not our words.
Yeah.
I come back by myself. You're all coming back with me.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
yeah. You can say all you want. Your actions are what speaks.
Exactly. And
definitely.
It's not fair. And can you go in front of whatever the halls of Mency or whatever and be like, yeah, but it's the Matrix and I had to make this fake stuff in order to survive. Even though I knew none of it was real, I still went along with it.
Yeah, but I said nice things to people.
Yeah.
But Biden but Biden doesn't tweet offensive words.
Yeah, but that's not fair.
Sure.
Because this physical world makes me do things that are hypocritical to like my belief system, personal, individual, what I think is right is wrong. And then so I'm gonna be held accountable for it though.
Well, what do you think about the idea?
Keep souls trapped.
What do you think about the idea that we're only really held responsible for things that we are aware of?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I'm aware of a lot.
I think there's a lot.
But we are aware now.
Yeah. Right?
True.
Because awareness implies then you're responsible.
Yes.
Exactly.
You're responsible for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we cannot follow it anyhow.
You can't claim ignorance. Yeah.
No, you cannot close a pact with the devil and expect from God to save you. It doesn't work like that.
No.
No, but for me, it's like, oh, I hate this, but I can't fight a 2,000-year-old Kabbalic system by myself.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, you can't overthrow it, but that's not really the point.
No,
all you have to do is change. All you have to do is change and walk away, change, work on yourself.
Yeah, it's like Stephen Greer is quite interesting when he talks about it. You find out, you cannot fight it anyhow. He says, you walk away and you ascend in your spiritual awareness, the only thing you can do. And then you're above the darkness. It's a different world then. You have to go, because it's a spiritual war. It's evil against evil against good. So it's fought on another level, but we have to go to that higher level and work on that, because whenever we are negative, we go down, whatever it means.
Right. Well, and this kind of literature does, like I said, lift you up, lift up your awareness so that you can see above the clouds.
Yeah, that's what we have to do.
Yeah, it is.
So,
and Plato in the dialogue of the Phaedrus talks about that. Talks about the soul. You are a charioteer, and you have two horses, and one is light and the other is dark, and you've got to get them to work together in order to ascend, in order to raise your chariot higher. Because the horses, if you're not trained as a charioteer, and if the horses have their own thing that they're doing instead of working together, then you're going to sink instead of rise.
Yeah, exactly. It's also a card in the tarot, the
chariot, the card for the chariot. Yeah. You have I don't have my tarot deck here, but you have the black sphinx and the white sphinx, and then the charioteer is in his chariot. And there's all kinds of symbolism in the chariot card. He's got crescent moons on his shoulders, and his head is crowned with stars.
Yeah. So
So
it's if you
so-
master, it's like also if you unite your feminine and your masculine in a very balanced way,
Yeah.
you can master life.
Right.
Because otherwise you get
Exactly.
drawn in emotion, or you get drawn like, or it's emotion without
Right.
logic, or logic without emotion,
Sure.
or like model of like those. Like again, there's always work together, like on the level from heart, spirit, soul,
Right.
mind.
Right.
So, yeah, there is a kind of
Mhm.
mind, heart, has to work together. And actually in yoga, actually even in physical yoga, you try to bring it together. I mean, yoga is meditation,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
even actually normally in the meaning from the exercise they gave in the ancient times was to bring balance in your mind. It was not, it was never meant to, oh, look, I'm fit, I have but they make it like
Right.
now it's like a fitness
Right.
training, but it's never meant to. But they say, oh yeah, if you do that kind of asana, that will lift your heart, it brings out the negativity, so you
Sure.
can release it. Or you can,
It should do all of it,
yeah.
mind and
Yeah.
body and
Yes.
heart.
And then
Yeah.
when the body is pure, the mind gets lifted up, and the heart is also,
Right.
it's always together. It's also
Mhm.
like, because also represent Jesus like a very skinny man, but he was a very powerful, built,
I'm
strong,
sure he
muscled
was.
man.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
he was because he was a carpenter. He had to work,
Mhm.
and he had to.
Right.
Yeah, he was really. He was not like. He was not. He was not skinny at all.
Right.
He's like really good,
Right.
well-built man because he was also working all the time. And yeah.
Mhm.
So, but we have that wrong image, and that's also meant on purpose to make him look weak because okay, look, he's, and also actually it's really wrong to. That's my guru said. You should not look at Christ on the cross. It's a wrong to him. You have his resurrection. He's not suffering. He's life. He's joy.
Right.
And because the Catholic Church did that, and it makes it a negative thing.
Yes.
So we should never
Yeah.
hang a cross with.
Well,
Jesus
it's about
hanging on
guilt. Catholic
Yeah,
Church is
about
about
guilt.
guilt. And
Yeah.
guilt.
it. Exactly, that makes
Well,
it stronger,
you know,
and then you're weak because if you feel guilty, you're
you know,
weak.
and yes, if you do harm another person, guilt is the pain that you feel until you fix
Yes.
whatever that is. But to live your entire life in guilt,
Yeah, it's not good.
no,
No.
that is not natural.
No, it's not.
Especially
natural.
feeling
And that's-
guilty about nature itself, you know, feeling guilty about the functioning of your body, for example, or feeling guilty about the body.
Yeah, yeah, it's
No.
typical. That's what the church
Yeah.
especially did because other
Right.
belief systems doesn't have that. It's especially
doesn't.
Catholic belief system
Yeah.
is very split between body
Right.
is bad and mind
Right.
is
Well,
good.
nature is bad, right?
Yeah,
Nature is fallen.
yeah, yeah, and
Right.
that's never told in the Bible. It's not mentioned at all.
Right. Right. It's
is
not. It's an
mentioned,
interpretation. It's an
Yes.
interpretation.
Yes, yes, it's an
Mhm.
interpretation.
Yeah, it is definitely. Mhm.
No, and besides, feminine is bad and masculine is good. It's something that it's nothing to do with actually.
Yeah.
Without the mother,
Right.
you're nothing. Jesus said it also. You can do harm to, but don't do harm to the mother because I
In
will.
in Genesis, both sides, both halves of the nature fell. And of course, that's you can interpret, and there are many different good interpretations of that. The interpretation that I received from my teacher, who got it from his teacher, who was a Hebrew scholar and a Greek scholar, that the feminine has the power of yes and no, and the masculine has the power of healing, and that both sides failed. So and yeah, I'll probably get into that on all of that symbolism on a live sometime. But to twist it into some kind of favoring one half of the nature over another is sick. It's just sick.
Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
And I think also when I have a feeling like when nature is more in balance, then there are no deserts anymore. There is no drought and no flooding because when feminine is water, when it's over emotional, I think you create floods. And when it's man is logic, but when it's over logic, you get dry and desert like things. That's why it has to come together. And I think
Yes.
like when I was in Hawaii, I felt the people were much more imbalanced. The men had a very strong feminine side, but were very masculine, and the women too.
Mhm.
And you see
Right.
that island is so beautiful, green and
Mhm.
warm and lushy, and it felt like,
Mhm.
oh, that's what my interpretation was. I think, oh, maybe it has to
Yeah.
do with the balance between feminine and masculine,
Mhm.
and could
Mhm.
be reflected in nature because a whole maybe whole people
Right.
represent it, and nature follows nature also of the mind what we reflect, nature follows. So if we change
Yes.
our mindset, nature also
Yes.
changes.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, it's
So I
like
think
it's like one of my favorite movies, The Dark Crystal. You know, it's been a wasteland for 1,000 years because
oh
there has
yes,
been a division. There's been a division between good and evil,
mm,
where the Skeksis and the Mystics were once one.
mhm,
Mhm.
And it's the time of the Great Conjunction. It's coming up again,
mhm.
and are we going to keep going down that path, or are we going to change direction?
Yeah, and also in the Lion King, you have the same,
Mhm.
the hyenas and then
Yes. Yeah. You
yeah,
know, when Scar, the false
mhm,
king, which is just
yeah,
it's Lion King is just a retelling of Hamlet.
yeah,
Hamlet is also a retelling of the Horus Osiris Set myth.
yeah,
It is, and it's the fall. It's the story of the fall, and there's a son, and it's the
mhm,
son's destiny, his duty to heal, to fix it,
mhm,
to fix the nature. And, you know, in The Lion King, when Scar takes over, the Pride Lands become what?
yeah.
A wasteland,
Same.
The
Yep,
which
wasteland,
that
was
yeah,
too.
once bountiful and abundant and beautiful and
yeah,
set. Yeah. Right.
mhm,
Winter.
Hmm.
yeah,
Winter. Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah,
in um the Egyptian, when Set beat Horus, he takes his eye, and it was
Mm-hmm.
Hathor who healed him.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the divine feminine energy that healed
Well,
him.
isn't that the character of Agra in The Dark Crystal?
Yeah.
The kind of crone figure.
Mhm.
She's the crone aspect of the goddess.
Right.
Yeah. And she's the one that has the shard and has the information that Jen needs in order to heal the crystal. I love that movie. It's amazing. I came out when I was 12, and I just like begged my mother to take me back and see it again and again. It was great. Yeah. Yeah. That's the crone aspect of the goddess.
Yeah.
She is and it's also, you know, it's also it's you can find it on the masculine side too in characters like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
You know, the guide, the
Yeah.
teacher. Yes. You know, that's the archetype. And it's always an old kind of, you know, ugly, crinkled up, you know, figure that has the magic amulet that the hero or the heroine needs on the journey.
Yeah, it's the wise one.
It's the wise one.
Right.
Yeah.
And they
indeed.
usually don't even tell them what to do. They tell them
Right.
this is what it is, and the choice is yours.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, and most of the
Yeah,
time you have
definitely.
a kind of amulet, like they only can use it a few times, and if they use it in the wrong times, they can still be
Right.
destroyed. Yeah.
Right. The
Mhm.
misuse of power.
Yeah. Mhm.
Right. Are you guys familiar with the film Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
No.
Yeah.
Came out about 20 years ago.
Mhm.
There's a magic sword in that story. It's called the Green Destiny. Interesting name. It's the Sword of Destiny, and the main character, who is a young woman, who is basically lost. She steals it from a temple, and this wise teacher, this mature man, goes after her, and they have this fight in a bamboo forest.
Mhm.
And even though she has the Sword of Destiny, he is able to defeat her. Why? Because he is still within. He has stillness within himself.
Mhm.
and he's constantly after her. Look, stop what you're doing. Listen to me.
Mhm.
Give up this life. Become my student. Take my wisdom. And of course, it's a tragedy in the end because she doesn't realize that until it's too late, and he ends up dying because of her folly.
Mhm.
It's a really great story about the whole student teacher dynamic, and sacred wisdom. Yeah.
Mhm. Moana is also the story of Hawaii. Moana, the little girl who has to save
I
her
love that
people.
story.
It's nice, because she has to put
Yeah.
the heart back because somebody stole the heart.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mao did it. He was a little bit too. He was not bad, but he was like a little bit too.
Egocentric.
Yeah, egocentric,
Yeah.
naughty one, and then she
Yeah.
brings it back. Yeah. But you
Yeah.
see, when the heart is gone, everything was getting dry and getting poisoned, and
Mhm.
then she restored nature, like
Yeah.
with the heart. It was a very beautiful symbolic. I like it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm. Yeah, I
Gerard
think
Are
I'm.
you
is lost
exhausted?
in time.
Yeah, we did.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Is
we
Gerard
did good.
you there?
I don't think he is.
No, sorry, I missed him in talk, but yeah, I think we did enough. I mean, just
Yeah.
it's
It's
very
2
nice. It
hours.
was enough.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
So
I mean, we
You
can
texted her.
I can
Mhm.
click out of this. You know what I mean? Like we can all click out of this. It'll just
Okay.
keep running blank until Gerard
Let me
is able to
text him
turn
real
it
quick here.
off.
yeah, text
Yeah,
him.
right.
Yeah, text
Okay, I'm
him.
gonna
Yeah.
text him. And
So we can maybe
There you go.
talk with him
Yeah.
a little bit, and then
yeah, that would be good. It would be good to get a recap of what he did today. Yeah.
yes, that would be nice. So
Yeah, indeed. To wrap up. There we go.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, just little, my crazy stuff. So sun gods, right? And like,
Mhm.
we're so like in my opinion, the sun, because like we call our sun the sun, but there's millions of suns. If you want to,
Mhm.
it's a star. It's not a
Right.
sun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
And so, right, the sun is actually inside of us, right?
Yes.
It's part of the source, part of who we are, according to what you
Right.
just read, and it's in the
Yeah.
Hermetica too.
Yes.
And it basically is light and mind. Mind is light. Light.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sun is light. Light is mind, or something like that in
Mhm.
Hermetica. But and so crazy thought. Our money was backed with gold, right? So it had some kind of value and substance,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, true.
And then they got rid of the gold backed stuff, and they
Mhm.
Yeah.
backed it with our lives, our sons. Sun equals gold,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
sun's always referred
Right.
to with gold,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we have
Mhm.
gold flakes in our brain. Did you know that? We have gold flakes
Yes.
in our brain.
Cool, huh? Mhm.
Yeah, it's really
Right.
cool.
Well,
So
they
yeah,
backed
I'm
it. They
saying
backed
it's
it
a
with our
spell.
labor. It is a spell. It is.
It
is.
It's totally a spell. They backed it with our labor, our life force,
Mhm.
not the quality of our life, but the length of
Life.
our life.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
that's fucking demonic, right
Yeah,
there.
and like I said, like we create our reality, like even right now, like everything going on is because we keep participating in it going on, like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I know I don't know what I'm going to say. Whatever.
You didn't take an edible before you started, did you?
No, and I've been paying attention the whole time.
Yeah, you've been good.
Yep. I'm blaming it on Mercury retrograde.
Right, there you go. No, it's tomorrow, isn't it? It's tomorrow? We enter.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
It's really just my brain. No, when
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have Alzheimer's by the time I'm 50, right? Because I forget everything. You know?
If
So
that's
this
the
is
case,
gonna
then
be
I'm
rough.
already there.
Right. Yeah.
No, stop.
So I was looking into it, right? So apparently people who have experienced trauma, like war
Mhm.
people, PTSD, whatever,
Right.
their brain will forget, like purposely, like
Yeah.
put things
Yeah,
in a
true.
thing. So then that way, because it's like trying to keep you alive and functioning. Because if you were just
Right.
like thinking about, you know what I mean?
Mhm,
And I'm
mhm.
like,
Mhm.
just save me. I forget
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Well, you know,
True.
trauma
here.
and what we've learned about trauma and healing, and of course the power of psychedelics, if they're used properly,
Mhm.
harkens back to the mystery schools and some of
Mhm.
the ancient techniques that they actually used to heal men that had, you know, been fighting in wars to defend their people.
Yeah.
They actually had a program in place to heal these men.
Mhm.
We don't.
No.
Why?
No.
Because the parasites that run this place, this zoo, this simulation, they don't care. They want to create trauma
Mhm.
Yeah.
to
Yeah, and then-
keep fucking us up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Yeah.
But anyhow, they're on the entries are there. They're on the entries.
It can't go on forever.
No. They will
No.
never come.
It
Yeah,
can't.
normally they will be all destroyed. It's also a promise
Yes.
that will be
Right.
destroyed. All those negative forces, and that's why we cannot imagine how beautiful it will be without them.
Yes. Well, I think the choice comes down to change or die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it is. It's sorry.
Mhm.
That's it. Yeah, and I think if and maybe those who refuse to change will repeat. Maybe they'll just fail and they'll be reabsorbed into the one.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. All right. Christine's starting to lose it.
I know.
Where is Gerard?
I have to pee.
Is he like?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have
All
to
right.
pee and eat.
Okay. Well,
I know.
I texted
so
him. Let me see. Where is
Aliens
he?
got him.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe.
Or the baby rattlers or the cougars got him. One or the other.
Yeah, he may even be on the live with us right now in whatever
Yeah,
dimension
true.
he's in.
He's playing us.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, I don't
Okay.
think he would.
Yeah, I know. Right.
Mhm.
Well,
Okay.
that's all
We
I
good?
got to say. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Well,
All right.
it's
Okay.
wonderful. We
Yeah,
can
Yeah.
meditate
Like I
again.
said, it'll just because I did it because I didn't know what I was doing the 1st
Mhm.
time, and it says end broadcast in your little corner. But I was like, you know what I mean? I'm just so used to clicking off of here. So that's just what
Mhm.
I did. And it just ran for like 5 minutes with nobody there.
That's okay.
So, yeah. So it's just going to run until Gerard figures
Right.
it out.
Till they
Yeah.
figure, oh, shit, they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So he'll
Right.
understand.
Yeah, he will. Oh,
Yeah,
well.
he will.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
As long as he's not in a ditch with a rattlesnake. You
Yeah.
know what was funny?
Indeed.
That one live stream he did, he's like, oh my God, is that rattlesnake? There's rattlesnakes coming around here. Boom, his stuff cut off. His live stream cut off. I was like, good. Yeah, I thought that was so funny.
Right, that was good.
Just
Right.
talking about hearing a rattlesnake, and then it's like live stream
Mhm.
interrupted.
Right.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
Gerard, you just manifested it. See that?
Yeah.
Right.
And I thought
Mhm.
that was funny.
Right. Yeah, that was good. All right, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. This was fun. This was a great live. Thanks for watching us. Thanks for the great comments.
Mhm. And
Yep.
Right.
yeah, then we can click out, of course. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Gerard will
just
figure it
enjoy
out.
just enjoy the black screen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, don't enjoy the black screen because you know they're sending out some kind of brainwashing radio waves through this
Right.
computer.
Subliminal messages.
All chips. All the
Yeah.
vaccinated people.
Right. Mhm.
Yeah.
The chips are going like,
Yeah,
but
right.
that was so strange. I had to,
Mhm.
somebody asked me to send a video from that that guy that was walking next to
The
computer
AstraZeneca
screen.
guy, yeah.
God,
But
wow.
then you have that clip because I have to send it to someone, and he said, I said I'm trying to finding it, but on Google you cannot find it. But then you
Oh
say
yeah.
chips and vaccination, it's all conspiratory, because Google doesn't
Yeah.
want allow to
No.
find that video, so I cannot find it on Google. And I
Mm.
don't, and I know it. I don't know who put it. I thought it was Pat or maybe someone else. No, it was Maria Rachel. She
Mm.
put it in under a comment from Pat, but I can't find it anymore.
Mm.
Anyhow, but that was like weird. that guy, my God.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's also because the magnet. I mean, it's a magnet. You have a
Yeah.
you have a-
Yeah.
So
That's what
The
I'm saying.
videos.
We
Yeah.
operate on energies that we don't understand. We don't even understand the physical
Exactly.
human body fully, let alone everything else
Right.
that operates
Mhm.
us, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
true.
And like, so
True.
to mess with it like that, like, and to mess with all these energies and
Well, that's-
frequencies and radio waves, like, this is literally insanity. Like, we are playing, it's like a bunch of children playing with nuclear weapons.
Seriously.
Yeah, that's
Right?
true.
I mean, the whole idea of transhumanism, we're going to transfer your consciousness into a cyborg brain. No, you're not, because you don't
Yeah.
know what the fuck you're doing.
No, we don't even know what a human really is yet. And when
Right.
we're going to be like, we can improve that. You don't
Well-
even know
well,
what we are yet.
They think consciousness is located inside this squiggly noodle up
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
That's how completely blind they are.
That's why it's zombie. Because if they close your crown chakra, you have no connection anymore with
Right.
the source.
Right.
So
Yeah.
then you become
Well,
a zombie.
I
That's
think-
what that's
I
what
think
they
they know
mean
that.
with
I
the
think
living dead.
they
Yeah.
know exactly what they're doing.
Yes.
Right.
They know.
Mhm.
Yeah, they know.
They know.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it's kind
That's
of,
what I'm saying. Like,
Mhm.
that Kuiper Belt, the stuff they know, the stuff they found from thousands of years ago,
Mhm.
everything. They know how to do this stuff. That's why they bury us all kinds of crazy to
Right.
keep. It's like to
Right.
keep recycling our energy here or something.
Heck, yeah.
And
Mhm.
it's like
Mhm.
time to be
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
screw you, I'm getting free this time.
Yes. And all we need to do is say no.
No, that's all we need to do when we
Yeah.
don't do
That's
it.
all we need to do. No. No. No.
Yeah.
No. 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 None of that.
None of that.
Yeah, no,
None
I'm
of
not
that.
doing any of this anymore.
Right.
Screw this.
Mhm.
This earth is not yours. You can't tell us what to do with it. We're just going to be nice to each
Right.
other and share.
Mhm. Right.
Like, that is
Yeah.
how simple it can
I have
be.
free will.
Yeah.
I have free will, and I can choose, and I'm choosing no.
Yeah.
Me too. Me
That's it.
Like,
also.
Simple as that.
I really don't get it. Because, like, even people
Mhm.
that get on my nerves or whatever, so what? They get on my nerves. Whatever. Go away. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
could just treat each other like you're a living being and I'm a living being, and therefore I just have a respect
Mhm.
for your life as life. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then
Right.
just, I need this amount of food a day to live, and I'm not going to take more than that. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like,
Right.
that is how
Take
to
only
me,
what
that's
you
how
need.
simple life could be. Like the
Mhm.
Matrix crap here it could be, and then we could actually use our minds to do awesome stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Like
But
build
that will
pyramids
be-
with our
it will
minds.
be-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's levitate that shit.
Yeah, but that was in the old
Right.
days.
Mhm.
That was
Yeah.
in the ancient knowledge. It was.
It
like
was.
that.
It was.
It was like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have to go back. I mean,
Right.
to get to reclaim our power again, our inner power.
Right.
Because
I think it was a blending of science and spirit.
Yeah.
They had technology, but it didn't work without evolved consciousness.
Yes.
Right. And I don't think they did things without thinking them through first. Like
Mhm.
like
No,
us,
no,
like,
they
oh,
didn't.
can we
Right.
do this? Oh shit, it just killed thousands of people. We don't think,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? We're so
Right.
like that saying we're worried about whether we could. We didn't think to see if we should or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's Jurassic Park. But whatever. It's
Yeah,
true
something like
though. Yeah,
Yeah.
just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it.
Mhm.
know?
Mhm. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
true.
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
that's-
it Shakespeare says
Mind.
it is excellent to have a giant's strength, but it
Oh,
is
that is-
tyrannous to use it like a giant.
Right.
You know,
So,
power.
hello.
Hey, Gerard, there he is.
Okay.
Yo!
Oh,
So you're back
still
from outer
driving.
space.
Yeah, right.
oh.
What was he doing? He was probably at with the dancing girls in the dancing hall.
Senoritas.
He was with the alien chick with the
Senoritas,
3
no.
boobs.
I'm sorry,
It's like they got 3 nipples. I got a nipple obsession.
is there something in my beard? Is that oh,
How's
sorry
it going,
about that.
Gerard? How's it going? We like your
Oh.
hat.
I'm nervous.
I want a hat like that. Actually.
Oh, I like this. This is my backup. My other, as you know, the
Right,
top
yes.
the top was
Yeah.
destroyed. This is my backup hat.
One of those cougars took a chunk out of it.
Yeah, something like that. No, my nerves are shot, people. I'm hauling water. Pray for me.
Okay.
My
All right.
nerves are
Yes,
shot.
indeed. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look back there. You see that?
Yeah, you can
Oh
see
my
you can see the
goodness,
tank there. Yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Oh, wow.
Right.
I'm hauling 2 tons of water.
Okay, no.
So-
Wait till you guys see
Hey.
that dirt road that we're on.
In man talk, 2 tons of water means about 800 pounds, but
Wow.
it's still scary. Like
Yeah.
there's nowhere on my resume does it say this man hauls water. It doesn't say that, right?
Mhm.
I write software, so your nerves are shot.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like you're pulling this thing and you can feel the
Yeah.
water like sloshing back and forth, and you're
Yeah.
going on.
Oh,
quick rest.
wow.
Yeah.
So I went to the general store and got my dinner.
Good.
It's weird. Like I go to the general store, I get my dinner, my earbuds, some washcloths. What else did I get? Some asparagus, all at the same store. I love it though.
Ooh.
Nice, yes.
They have
I love
asparagus at the Dollar General there, or were you in
Oh.
else? Really?
Yummy.
At the
Ooh.
general store. No, not that sexy stuff Susan likes to post about. Not that wild stuff. I was in the woods. I found some wild asparagus. I'm mixing it up with some mushrooms and what was it? Alfredo sauce. And y'all can't have none. No, I don't know.
She's just
It-
like
it's
teasing
right
it.
here.
Gerard, she's like teasing
Right
us with those meals. It's
Oh,
like,
that
oh
one,
my God.
yeah.
There
Yeah.
you go.
For sure.
There you go. Right.
That was a great
It's not
Mhm.
it's not organic, it's not open air pollinated, it's not fresh, it's not wild. It will mix well with some Alfredo sauce and noodles so I can get up tomorrow and do some more
There you
work.
go.
That's what it
There you go.
is.
There you go.
Oh,
So
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm like interrupting
okay.
the conversation.
no.
You were
Yeah.
actually doing work.
No.
You're fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do your work. And
Mhm.
we are actually, we were done with our talk.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we're about done. So you shut up at good time. Good time.
yeah.
Y'all talking about The Walking Dead opting out. They're killing us on purpose. It's no accident.
Mhm.
It's no accident.
Well, they're killing the people that have consented to be killed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you must consent to that thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
To that donut thing.
Yeah.
Man, look,
Mhm.
it looks like y'all were hitting the donuts. I might be in Facebook jail tomorrow.
No,
No.
I think we said
No,
too much.
we were
white,
good.
white,
We were
I
good.
think racist.
Yeah.
You were good.
Most of
Okay.
it was
Yeah.
reason and
Right. Mostly it was
Yeah.
white brotherhood, white circle, white this, white that. So we were
White light,
we were being
so-
real racist
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, so that
You're
was
super
against the
racist.
community. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
White pie. That's gonna be my new thing. White pie. I'm gonna say that like
Oh, sorry.
every time somebody says something, I'm, white pie.
Okay.
But when you say it, you gotta spit like white pie. That's
Right.
spit. Anyway.
Okay.
That's good. Sounds like y'all had a good educational session.
Yeah. It was good.
That is
Good.
good.
I
We had a good
caught
talk. We had a
parts.
good talk.
I caught the
Good.
parts I could. Unfortunately, you would think that there was a signal on the highway, but apparently not. We're not strong enough for this, but so there you go.
Yeah.
When
Right.
When I get back to the satellite connection, I have a strong connection.
Right on.
I look
Great.
fantastic. Ooh, I look fantastic, Sandy Season says. Check that out. Yeah, it's because she can't smell me. That's why. You know why? Because there's no, you can't get the effervescence, girl. If you could get the effervescence, you wouldn't be saying that. You'd be saying, damn it, you need some soap, lotion, some brushes, bleach, and a good damn scrubbing. That's the only reason why people are like, oh, You getting muscles in the desert? He's like, yeah, you can't smell my feet. That's why. If you could get the effervescence from I burned my socks last night. Yeah, I burned them. I took that. I was pissed off. I took them all. Oh my God, whose feet are that? Oh no, look. You know, there wasn't nobody for like 4 miles, and you know, so I was like, all right, we're gonna burn these in the fire. I don't think soap could take that out. So, you know, but I love it. I love it. I'm free. I wake up each morning, decide what I need to do, go do it. It's an all-day gig. It's not 8 hours. It's 16 hours. But I love it. It's a thing of choice.
Oh, wow.
It's a crazy thing. I was digging holes this morning, literally digging post holes this morning in 90-some degree heat. And I was sitting here thinking to myself, like, this actually is the most important job I've ever done in my life. Well, no, that's not true. Okay, second, the most important job I've ever done in my life was being a father. That's number one. Number two is digging ditches to put up a fence to grow food for people.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the most important. The service delivery manager, project analyst, project manager, all of that was just bullshit. All of that was just making wealthy people wealthier, right? You know, and they didn't even pay me, and they didn't pay me for it. And you know, and like this is what my mind thinks about being alone for so long. They didn't pay me for it because they print the damn money. They didn't pay me. They didn't pay anything. They literally made a fantasy digit in a bank account and sent it to me. They gave me nothing for 29 years of labor. They go all the way to hell.
They take our life force and they give us nothing in return.
Nothing. And you know, the funny thing I was thinking about it, John, and maybe this goes back to forbidden knowledge and ancient knowledge, but it's not about the money and it's not even about the labor. They don't need our labor. We know when you really understand the level of automation that we actually have in the private sector, 80% of the jobs are gone. They're useless. They can get rid of those anytime. They don't need our labor and they don't need our money. This is all busy work. They are up to something, whether it's emerald tablets, whether it's Mahabharata, whether it's building some pyramids. These people are up to something. Alchemy, they just want us busy. They literally, they're starving us, and they're dehydrating us. They're starving us of land and resources. So we'll be in conflict with one another because these little bastards are up to something.
We're all hamsters on a treadmill.
Yeah.
They have put us all on treadmills and we don't go anywhere.
But on that treadmill, we're creating energy.
For them.
Right.
Right.
That's what I mean. They feed off our energy. And for some reason, they keep it at this lower level, which is why I think they're reptilians.
So
I agree with you.
I appreciate Susan taking it to the reptilian level, and I'm gonna chime in. One of my favorite shows is Stargate, and I doubt there are any Stargate fans because only weirdos watch it like me. And there was a race called the Ori, and then there was a race called the Ancients, and the Ancients tried to get you to believe in yourself, while the Ori wanted you to believe in them, and they became the gods. And so they literally they fed on the energy of galaxies of people. They would send missionaries through the Stargate with technologically advanced wands, and this is a play on the Bible, so but it was a great show. And they would get people to follow them. They would bring plagues, and then if people would worship them, they would heal them. And so they would worship the Ori, and the more galaxies they could get to worship them, the more powerful they became. So back to Susan's point about reptilians, I think there's always a degree of truth to something. I think even Hollywood, which is mostly bullshizzle, gives us some truth every now and then. There is something about believing in this system like it's our God. We love money. We worship money. We worship the system because the system provides everything that we need. The money provides everything that we need, and they are our parent. They're our mommy and our daddy or our God. And that's the last point I'm gonna make. I was thinking about this morning. It's like, how can you effectively parent when you have a government that thinks it's your daddy and your mommy? You can't. You're a child, and your parents, your children see the government treating you like a child. There are no parents in this country. You got parents-ish because they're all put in their place by the government. So I'm not even gonna go. That was 2 different points, but I had to get that out. It's,
You're only allowed 1 point, Gerard.
No, it's true. It is. We cannot parent seriously because the power is totally 100% dependent.
Right.
Right.
It's all about power and about the illusion they want to be God. And maybe they're up to finding the secret. Like in the initiation, there was a kind of instrument which could have had all the power.
Yes.
And like in Atlantis also, and maybe it's still somewhere hidden on Earth. And I think they might look for it. That's what I think now. Like in the pyramids hidden, or whether it's in Mexico or in Egypt or somewhere else. Because they hide it, They hide it, They told in the book, they
yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a brass rod. It appears like a brass rod, but it has a lot of power, right? And misused, it's completely destructive.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's another apocalypse then, literally then again.
Yes.
And I think they're looking for that instrument. That's what I feel.
Maybe. Right.
They know
well, I think doesn't Elizabeth Hake in Initiation talk about how the instruments were hidden or taken away by the godmen when they left? Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
And someone else somewhere else. I want to say it was like Plato or Socrates, but I'm not sure. Said about the Egyptian priests, and when it was sacked, it wasn't Socrates then.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't remember. But when it was sacked by Rome, the priests in the temples deliberately destroyed the devices and stuff they had because they knew that Roman whatever that entity would be used for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Well, can you imagine the Romans if they'd had that technology?
Oh yeah.
They would have. Oh God, terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also in the time
we would have had COVID in like 1010.
Also in the time of Krishna, there were like very advanced weapons, and Krishna destroyed them because he knew also they would use it for the wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Used for destruction instead of creation.
Yeah.
That book that he just was reading from, and
Sun Men of the Americas. This one.
Yeah.
That one.
But I mean,
okay.
Egypt, even the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, we were Brotherhood of Light, right? Like in India, the battle in the sky and the people that beings that came, the gods that came from the sky.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever, Mayans, Native Americans, they all talk about someone coming from somewhere. The gods came from somewhere.
Yes.
Like at one point they weren't here and they came here. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's definitely some kind of alien in my opinion, interdimensional whatever thing.
Or us in the future, which is what some people say could be. It's like the fairy tales. Luke Skywalker meets Obi-Wan Kenobi and is given the magic sword and given some lessons. And then what happens? Obi-Wan Kenobi is gone. And Luke Skywalker has to learn on his own, stand on his own 2 feet. And that's the pattern of all mythology, is that at some point, the hero has to face the trials himself, and Harry Potter follows that as well. When Dumbledore is killed, he's got to fight Voldemort on his own feet in the end. And that's the pattern. We have to grow up. And that's why there is a Kali Yuga. That's why there is an Iron Age.
We're blown away.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a rock salad kid. Y'all remember that song? Toys R Us?
Yep. Toys R Us?
I don't
Wow.
want to grow up.
Toys
I'm
are
child
us.
slave.
The toys of the elite,
Right, yeah.
whatever the reptilians. Let's not call them elite.
Mhm,
But
yeah.
there's a theory, right? Well, because like they have Palladians, right, and then they have Syrians, and
Yeah.
I mean, who knows, right? Like not like I don't know. I mean, like, but
Right.
these are just whatever. But and there is that theory, right, where like so like I guess in the grand cosmic life of things,
Mhm.
it's always looking for a species that's ready to evolve, right?
Yes.
And but then there was like reptilian
When the
type,
student is ready, the teacher appears.
right?
Mhm.
So there was like reptilian type dudes too, and I don't know, I think they're from Draco or something. But so they came here like trying to get us, and then the Palladians came in trying to like, because like, you know, a lower energy is going to try to do it by force or something, trickery. Like a lighter energy just tries to like teach you the way and lets you do it yourself, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there is that theory by different, you know,
Yeah.
people that
Yeah.
know history, but
Right.
I don't know.
Well, you know, it's a plausible theory. It's possible. You know, we can't, if we really are rational, if we really are objective, we can't dismiss the possibility for those things. You can't.
Yeah,
It's within
especially
the realm
like
of possibility.
ancient Egypt's had that race of crocodile gods.
Oh, yeah, true.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
then there's like those snake reptilian like gods in Mayan.
Yes.
Maya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
The
they're
Nagas in
always
India.
yeah.
Right.
They're
Right.
and they're always depicted as a reptilian thing. And if it repeats
Yes.
throughout cultures throughout time, then there's truth to it.
There's
Even if
truth
we
to
don't
it.
understand it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true to it. Yeah, probably that kind of yeah,
Oh my god.
a power, kind of demonic power that they take.
Yeah. Yes.
That's
Exactly.
the-
It is demonic, and you know,
yeah, but it's the end time.
because
believe
and it's because it's centered on small s self instead of evolution, instead
Yes.
of change. It is that which resists change or death. Death being transformation,
Yes. Yes.
because all death leads to rebirth.
Yes.
All death leads to transformation.
They're demonic, Gerard, so be careful out there.
Yeah, be careful, Gerard.
Who's
You're pretty
demonic?
close to Skinwalker Ranch out there,
The
Gerard. Be careful.
aliens. They're coming to get you.
I'm 10 hours away, so if you can hold out for 10 hours.
When the aliens
It's
show
at
up,
the Shell station. Yep.
there's the Shell station. I think I lost you here twice, didn't I?
I think
when
you
the,
did.
When the aliens show up, watch my armpit. It's my armpit.
Don't worry, they don't have smell-o-vision on our phones yet.
This is the kind of hijinks that the boys get into when they're all alone out there in the desert. They do dumb shit like this.
Hey, getting in shape comes with a cost. That's why
Right.
I stopped going to the gym. Because the gym stinks. People stink. I don't like people.
Right.
I love people, but when they're getting in shape, they stink. The equipment stink and it's wet and sweaty. It was nasty. I used to sit on the gym equipment and somebody just got up and they were sweating, and there's certain orifices when you sweat, you don't want it to be on the seat that you sit on next.
Right.
No.
My gym here smells like Lysol because they're spraying everything down every 5 seconds. It's like
I don't
disgusting.
like Lysol. I'd rather smell people than Lysol.
Really?
At this point in my life, I agree. I'd rather smell BO, butt funk, armpit juice, and all of that mixed together
I don't like
with
Lysol.
terrible perfume and cologne than Lysol.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like if you walk into a room and someone sprayed Lysol, like I feel like it gets in my throat and it stings and it's like,
Right.
ugh, I hate it.
Right.
Yes, I really hate it.
Yeah, it's like at the back of your throat, and it's like,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
toxic.
It's like you
Yeah.
just,
Right.
you just poisoned you again.
Right.
Hey, you taste
you're-
it. Like Tasty Cake. I didn't eat Tasty Cake for like 2 years maybe. And then I ate one and like I could just feel all the poison in my mouth. It was like stinging and it felt weird.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't notice this before.
It's like this film of chemicals all over your tongue and your palate.
It was weird.
Yeah.
I went 10 years without eating a Twinkie. And when I put that Twinkie in my mouth, I felt that tingling in my jaw. My happiness came on. And I was like, I loved it. I loved it. I still eat Twinkies. I don't care what anybody says.
I was like, their chemical nanobots are killing me.
You know what? The only thing, so I'm just joking, but what did that for me was the McDonald's French fries. Like I went multiple years without eating them. When I became vegetarian, then I went back to eating them again. Like within 5 minutes of swallowing the first fry, my whole stomach just wanted to pump itself. Like I just felt nauseated. There's something wrong with that food. That is not food. There is something wrong with that stuff.
I did the same, and I ate a burger after also 10 years, and oh my God,
immediately you get an upset stomach.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. It was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really something wrong with that food.
Yeah, we should stop calling it food because I don't think it is.
Right. Well, didn't KFC have to change their name from Kentucky Fried Chicken to KFC because it's not actually chicken?
Oh, I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. I've read that several times. That they were forced to change the name because it's not actually chicken anymore.
That's not surprising.
Not at all.
Is it like the pink slime stuff? It's kind of like chicken goo with feathers and lips and beaks and anuses.
They get so pumped up that they're so fat that their legs can't, like their breasts are so big because that's the most sought after piece.
Right.
And they just kind of like lay around, rolling around on their sheets.
Yeah, I think that's really probably close to the truth, Susan.
Up. Yeah, and covered in poop, and they can't even walk right. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they're like, here, eat this. And it's like, and then you are what you eat. Like, that's not even, like, we say it as a saying, but it's like in the Egyptian books and dead and stuff. You are what you eat. So,
well, as above, so below. As within, so without. What you put into you become. What you,
And then you read all the time about that the human meat they put in food, in animal food, so-called.
Yes.
Ooh. Yeah. It's like, don't want to eat meat.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Soylent Green.
I do believe they do that.
The exception is Chick-fil-A, because I can promise everybody, Chick-fil-A is real chicken.
Okay.
Believe it or not, you not look like someone in a restaurant, but real chicken. I used to fillet them breasts all day. When I started working there, I was like 13, and I worked there till I was almost damn near 17. Chick-fil-A is real chicken. I can't say nothing else about the rest of the stuff.
Did they make you pluck the feathers out, or
No, well, as bad as it sounds, I mean, you get them frozen,
he's breaking up.
Defrost them, and you have to break the enzyme, spread them out. Yeah, I'm about to hit off grid, so we're going to lose this message. I actually got to get this water home before it gets dark, and it's going to take me a while to get down this road at 10 miles an hour. So
going slow.
How about somebody wrap up this thing?
Don't worry, you're in the desert. It'll disperse fast enough. You won't drown.
What?
It'll what?
What did you say?
I didn't hear that.
I said, don't worry. If it does, explode, you're in the desert. It'll disperse quick enough so you won't drown. You'll survive.
That's not comforting. You know how much I just spent for this water? You know how much this water costs? $2.
You're lying.
It cost him about $4. It cost him about $4, something like that.
I know.
You know what you can buy down here with that? I got dinner for 4 nights. Everything is cheap. You know what I'm saying? This headset costs $2.75. Every down here is basically free. I'm just going to spill the water in the desert. It's okay. No. I I could feed all kind of people for just $20.
Right.
Nah,
I'm saying
That's
don't be
true.
scared.
I'm
You'll be
scared.
fine.
I'm scared. My nerves are jacked. I do not like doing. Look at this. You see this thing back there? Look like it's galloping Gertie. No, I don't like this at all. I don't like
No,
this.
it is-
Mama, take me back
it
to
would scare
Rockefeller
me.
world.
It would scare
I
me.
don't like this. But this is temporary. I just got to do this to get things started. But this is nerve wracking. I mean, honestly, I don't like it at all. When people do stuff like this with 20-year-old cars, their whole bumper pulls off. So yeah, I'm not feeling this at all.
Mhm.
No.
In
Go
the middle of
slow.
the desert with a car with no bumper and no water. Because it all poured out. Susan was happy.
Jonathan said you just gotta survive 10 hours.
Yeah.
10 hours.
Just give me 10 hours and I can be there
Yeah.
to pull you out of the quicksand.
Yeah.
If you're not at your favorite restaurant with that beer and chicken that you like to go to. Because you disappear when you go there, you disappear on us.
What? What's this? Beer and
That
I don't
favorite
drink beer.
restaurant. I don't know
Are you
what
talking
drink.
about? Are you
It
talking
look like
about
beer.
in Fort Hancock or where? In Yuma?
In the,
I eat salads in Yuma.
Yuma.
What? Are you starting rumors about me, Gerard?
Hell yeah. I'm supposed to start rumors. Ain't nothing wrong with that. All right. I'm breaking up. So let's say goodbye, everybody.
Okay.
Bye.
Next
Take
time.
care, everyone. Bye.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I was like, I can't eat. Bye. Say goodbye. I'm pressing the button. It's not going off. Bye. We'll see you. Tell grandma I said we love you. Bye. Everybody.